Hello everyone, we from Group 1 will explain about virtual machines. So our group members consist of Aaron Scott Buana, Anselyus Siswanto, Collin Kliveson, and Ignatius Kennard. So what is a virtual machine? Virtual machine is a software-based simulation of a physical computer running its own operating system and applications in an isolated environment. It is used to safely perform tasks like testing software, analyzing virus, or experimenting with new operating systems without affecting the whole system. Virtual machines are also essential in server virtualization, enabling a single physical server to host multiple independent virtual servers, which improves resource utilization, lowers hardware costs, and simplifies management. Key components of a virtual machines are host machine, guest machine, hypervisor, virtual disk, and virtual network interface.
Okay, so now we'll be getting to the categories of virtual machine based on their purpose and functionality. For the first category is system virtual machine, which is a machine that provides a full platform to run an operating system as if it were running on a dedicated physical hardware, meaning it can run multiple instances on a single physical hardware, example being VMware ESX. For the second category is the process virtual machine, which is a virtual machine to design or to run a program on a consistent runtime environment across multiple platforms, such as Java Virtual Machine. Next, please. Okay, and here we will be having the architecture of the virtual machine. The most bottom layer is consisting of the infrastructure, which is the CPU, the memory, which is the components that makes up the hardware. The next one will be the host operating system, in which where the virtual machine will be hosted. The hypervisors, which are the layer responsible for virtualizing the underlying hardware resources and generating the virtual environments, which has two types, bare metal and hosted. The guest OS, which is the virtual machines that runs, each has their own guest operating system. And the final layer, which is the top layer, consists of the application layer. Next slide, please. Okay, so the one that we'll be discussing is VMware. So what is VMware? VMware is currently a leading provider of virtualization and cloud computing, which allows users to run efficiently operating systems on multiple platforms and applications based on a single physical machine. The few features of VMware consisting of a hypervisor technology, live migrations, cloud integrations, and resource allocation. Next, please.
So VMware provides a comprehensive suite of products that enables business to virtualize their IT infrastructure, optimize their resources, and build scalable cloud and data center solution. And these are the examples such as VMware Workstation and Fusion, VMware vSphere, VMware vCenter, VMware NSX, and finally VMware Horizon. Next. These are the architecture of VMware. So the most bottom is the physical tier, which represent the compute hardware, storage, and physical network. Platform tier provides a virtual runtime for VM and containers, integrate compute storage and networking via vSphere, vSAN, and NSX. It ensures high availability, performance, and scalable. It also has tenant size runtime, association partition, offer dedicated or share resources allocation for services. Resource orchestration tier provide resource management capability to the platform tier, also provide controls, manage and monitors the compute, storage, and network hardware. For cloud automation tier, it provides bridge between virtual resource orchestration and the physical function to deliver service and service chain. Solution tier is the software ecosystem include virtual function and container function, provide complex solution for CSP such as multi-access edge computing and fully evolved package core. And lastly, operation management tier. It basically provides a topology discovery, health monitoring and alert, issue isolation, and closed loop automation. Next. These are the advantage and disadvantage of VMware. Its advantage is cost efficient, scalable, flexible, is secure, can recover from disaster, and cross-platform compatibility. Disadvantage is complexity, dependency, and high resource overhead. Core functionality of VMware is server virtualization, this desktop virtualization, cloud integration, workload management, and use case of VMware are server collaboration, application development and testing, disaster recovery, hybrid cloud management, enterprise IT operation. And for key strategies of VMware are robust ecosystem, reliability, and versatility.
That's all for our theoretical presentation, and the tutorial on how to use VMware will be explained by our friend Ignatius Kennard. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Kennard, and I'm going to be the one who is going to guide you guys in the installation of VMware. So, as my colleagues have explained in VMware, we can start installing VMware in our own device. So, to do that, we are going to search for VMware on the internet real quick, and we're going to find the one that's first in the link, so vmware.com. And in this site, so we want to download VMware Workstation, but as you can see, if you click the products where it's supposed to be, usually there is no links linking us to the workstation. So actually, since VMware has partnered with Broadcom, they have moved most of their services to Broadcom. So you have to use Broadcom's services, and they have kind of moved where the workstation used to be into a link which is down right here. So as you guys remember, in the old site, maybe you guys don't remember actually, but maybe in the old site, the workstation was under the desktop hypervisors tab, and now they have moved it down here, all the way down here, which is a bit quite questionable because this is actually quite important. It's one of their products, and they have put it somewhere that's slightly inaccessible, which is a bit questionable. But we can start downloading it by just clicking this link, and you should be redirected to the site. So yeah, it's a bit more hidden than where it used to be. So just because you guys are watching this video, we have the updated link right here. I actually have it in a notepad right here, but it's going to be down in the description, so you guys can just click the link down in the description to go to the download page. Now we can start downloading. So there's actually multiple ways. You can just click this one, or you can pick whether you want the Workstation Pro, which is the one that we're going to install today, or the Fusion Pro, which is for Mac. So since I am on Windows currently, I'm on Windows 10 to be specific, so we're going to be downloading the Workstation Pro for PC. So once we click that, we're going to be redirected into the site, the Broadcom site, as you can see, by Broadcom. So we're going to be redirected to the Broadcom site, and we'll have to register first an account. So I'm just going to fill this in first, and then I'll show you guys what's next after you submit your email down here. So details on the previous page. Here is the page that you're redirected into, and you can just start by clicking the I'll do it later, because I don't think this is necessary for the download, so we can just do that. And once we're done, we're redirected into this page, and we can just close this page. And since we've already registered, so now we're going to log in with our username. So username here is actually quite misleading. It's actually supposed to be your email, so you should put your email down here. And just for the sake of it, I'm going to pause again. So just fill in your email address, fill in your password, and you should just press next and log in as usual. So I'm going to pause the video once again until I'm logged in. Okay, so once you've logged in into the site, you're going to be greeted with this layout, this UI. So you would want to go to the dashboard first, and as you can see here, I'm already in my dashboard. So here you're supposed to write the VMware Workstation Pro. This is where you're supposed to search for the product right here. So VMware Workstation Pro. So as you can see, you can just wait for the drop down to happen here. So once you see the drop down, you can just click on the Pro version. And once you finish loading here, there should be a product right here. So you can just click this right here, this link, this title, and then you're going to be redirected into the site. So here is where there's a list of things that you can download here. You can read this, but since our time is limited here, so we're going to just go straight down here. And in here, you have several options for downloads. So we're going to focus right here on the Workstation Pro 17.5.2, because as I've mentioned earlier, the Workstation Pro is for the PC and the Fusion Pro is for Mac. So if you're on Mac, you have to download this on the Fusion 13.5.2, but since we're on Windows currently, we're going to download the Workstation Pro. So we can just click it like right here, and we can also open this docs. This is things related to the Workstation Pro, so we can just skip that. You can read this if you want, but since this is a tutorial on how to download, so we're just going to go for the download. And right here, we're going to download the Workstation Pro 17 for Windows, so we can just click right here for the latest release, and then we select the latest release of the Workstation Pro. And in this page, you're actually supposed to be asked for several things, so you have to agree to the terms and conditions. Once you click this terms and conditions, you should be able to download this, but prior to downloading this file, additional verification is required. You're going to be asked for several things, so all you have to do is just click yes right here, and you're supposed to fill in several things here. So I'm just going to fill in my data right here real quick, and once you're done, it's supposed to be loading like this. And now you should be able to download it once there's no more I agree with the terms of services here. You can just click the download here with the HTTPS download, and then we can just download it here. I already have a folder on the things that we need for this project, so we can just save it right here. And as you can see, it's downloading. It's going to take some time. And yes, so as you can see here, I actually have the Ubuntu downloaded as well, but that's going to be on the second part of the installation guide. So let's just finish downloading the VMware first, and then we can move on to downloading Ubuntu real fast. Okay, as you can see, the download has been finished, so we can just click the show in folder button, and we should be greeted with the exe downloader file right here. So we can just double click this file right here, this exe, and we can just click yes right here. And it's a bit of a black screen right there on my recording, but you should just click yes. And then you gotta just click next, I accept and agree. So right here, actually, it's the default downloads folder directory is actually at C program files 86. But since my SSD is actually running quite low, I'm just gonna put it on my other folder right here, on my other disk. So we're just going to create a folder right here, and we're just going to name it the same thing as right here, just so it does not mess with the directory right here. So I'm just gonna click type right here VMware. And then for the next folder, the subdirectory, we're going to make another folder called VMware workstation. And then we can just click in here, and we're going to copy the directory right here. And we change the directory here. Actually, we can just go here and just type like this. You can just click OK. And then we can just click this path, and then right there, the installation folder has been changed. The installation folder is not recommended. Might not be secure. I think you can just OK this. As long as you understand what you're downloading it into, this should be fine. And we can just click next, and we click install. So yeah, I think it's pretty important that you check your disk space as well, because this project actually can take quite a lot of what do you call it, the storage away from your computer, because especially for later on when you're downloading the VM, you have to allocate certain amounts of disk space from your hard drive or your SSD so that you can run the virtual machine. So that's just how VMs work. And yeah, just in this case, I'm just going to use my E drive just for explaining everything here. So yeah, let's just install this real quick. And just like that, we are done with installing VMware. So we can just finish here. We are finished with downloading VMware Workstation Pro. So we can just open it right here. And let's just wait. And here is VMware. So you have successfully installed VMware. Here is the VMware Workstation Pro, and you should be able to import any VM, any type of OS to run in a virtual machine. So that is basically it for the first part of the explanation. I hope this is a bit informative, and I will see you in part 2 where we set up the Ubuntu. Okay, so welcome to the second part of the installation guide, and here in this part, I'm going to explain on how you could run Ubuntu and install Ubuntu right here. So I actually have a second link here down here. I'm also going to link this down in the description. So it's going to redirect it here. So I'm just going to paste it here. It's just going to redirect to the same page. And what you're going to download is this Ubuntu 294.04.1 LTS. So this is the image file that we need, and it's a bit big. It's 5.8 GB. So make sure to install this first before working on it. So I actually have this already installed here, as you can see from the previous part. And I'm just going to start by going back to our workstation right here. And we can start this by creating a new virtual machine. So I've hinted a bit on how we're going to download this. So we have to select typical right here, which is the recommended settings. And once we've clicked it, we're going to select this option right here, which is I will install the operating system later, and the virtual machine will be created with a blank hard disk. So we're just going to do that. And then we're going to pick Linux, because Ubuntu itself is a Linux operating system, a Linux-based operating system. So we can just click Linux right there. And then we're going to click the Ubuntu 64-bit, because if you can see here, we actually download the AMD64.ISO file. So we have to select the Ubuntu 64-bit as well. So we can just click these options. We can just go next. And for the locations of the virtual machine, as usual, I think you can also do it here. So I'm just going to use the VM here, the VM folder I have here. And then I'm just going to name it the same thing again. So Ubuntu 64-bit. So we can just do this thing. So same thing again. And then we can just click inside the directory, copy the directory. And then we can just try browsing for it. Since it's not in anywhere, we can just do this, and we can just click the Ubuntu 64-bit folder. And then this is going to be the directory on where the virtual machine is going to be downloaded at. So we're going to start by pressing next once you find a good allocation here. So recommended size for Ubuntu 64-bit is 20 gigabytes. So make sure to have 20 gigabytes. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to increase the size a bit so it's not too confusing. And then we can just click this option, split virtual disk into multiple files. Splitting the disk makes it easier to move the virtual machine to another computer, but may reduce performance with very large disks. So just keep this in mind when you want to move your virtual machines. But since I'm not going to move it that much, but this is the recommended option, we're just going to click this option real quick. And then we should be greeted with this tab. And once when you're done with that part, we can just click finish right here. So once we're finished, you should have this display right here. So Ubuntu 64-bit, and we're going to change a bit of some settings here. So we're going to click the edit virtual machine. So in this settings, you can set how much your virtual machines have the processing power or anything like that. So here in this tab we have the memory. So since my memory actually have like around 32 gigabytes of RAM, so I can allocate quite a bit here. But since the default is 4 gigabytes, I'm not going to mess around with it that much. And then we can just check the processor as well. I'm not going to mess around with that as much as well. And then we can also use this thing called use ISO image file. So if you remember, we can just click the ISO file we had here. So we can just open that, and then we can click OK. So this should be it for the setup, and I'm just going to do one jump cut real quick, and I'll be back again in 1 second. Okay, so once we're ready with our virtual machine, I did a bit more adjustments with the settings, and here is we can just be, if we're ready with running this virtual machine, we can just click the green button on the top. So we can just click this, and actually there's a bit of an error. So I actually cannot record this because of course my computer is gonna have to restart and work on the BIOS first. So to actually check this before you run this, and just in case you've encountered the same problem as me, you can just go to your task manager and check for virtualization right here. So as you can see, my CPU's virtualization has been set to disabled. So you have to enable the settings, which is a bit of a very annoying task. So you have to check again with your motherboard, check your BIOS where you can find the settings. So I'm going to try restarting my computer first and try to find this, how to enable this thing. Okay everyone, so here is my computer right here. I'm on my BIOS real quick. So here is the settings that you're trying to look for. It's an Intel VMX virtualization technology. So as you can see here, it's currently set as disabled. So you have to enable the settings. And yeah, I think you should be able to just set this up real quick if you just click enable. So just enable it like that, and make sure to save and exit before you leave the BIOS. So you can just save and exit right here. And then here is the change that you've made. Make sure it's correct, and you said OK. So once we're done with that, we can just go back to VMware Workstation Pro. And we've already set up the Ubuntu earlier, so this should be fine. Everything that we've done up to that point should be fine. And if it's just not enabled, you can just enable it. And once you're done, you can just power this on. And as you can see, it works perfectly fine. So here, if you're familiar with the booting, you can just use the keypad and everything like that. We can just click the first option, which is the try and install. And we should wait for a bit. Okay, so this has appeared already, and we can just work on this real quick. Let's just wait for this to finish, and there's actually a bit of sound there, so it's actually quite interesting. This is my first time running a VM as well, but I hope this is quite interesting for you guys as well. So we can just start by choosing our language. We're going to use English, obviously, and we're going to select the several things that you can see here. Let's just check customize Ubuntu for your needs before you set up. You can change the layer in the settings, so we can just, if we can change it later, we'll just change it later. So let's just select our keyboard layout. We're using the English, and then connect it to the internet. I'm currently using LAN, so this obviously just selected to use wired connection. My PC does not have a wireless connection, so we can just click this, and then we can just do, what do we want to do with Ubuntu? We want to try to install it, I think. So let me just double check this real quick, just so I don't get this wrong. So give me 1 second. Okay, so I have just confirmed that we just have to install this, and then we can just click next. We can select the interactive installation, and then for this we can just select the default. And then install recommended proprietary software. I think we can just I think we can just next this one. I don't think we need anything particular here. So this one is a bit of an interesting options. So there's this thing called erase disk and install Ubuntu. So this actually does not erase anything in your platform or in your PC actually. So yeah, you don't have to worry about it. So you can just click this. And finally we have here we have the create your account. So for this, I can just put my name here actually. Let me just put the V. Okay, so once you finish registering there, we can just put our time zone right here since I'm in Indonesia right now. So we can just click this time zone, and then we can just click next. And then review our choices. So here is a bit of a, what do you call it, a summary of what you've selected. So we can just click install, and we can just wait for the installation to finish. Okay, so the installation is complete, and it actually took me quite a while to download this just because my Wi-Fi speed wasn't too fast. So we're finally finished downloading Ubuntu. So once we're done with the installation, we can just click restart now, and it should restart if this would work. Okay, so it's restarting right now. So now we're just gonna wait for it to restart for a bit, and then we should be done with this installation. Okay, there's a bit of a slight mistake actually in the screen. You can just press enter right here. So let's just click enter. Make sure to be clicked in the VM. So earlier I wasn't clicked in the VM, so you had to press enter there. So I had to figure out why it said I had to remove something, but apparently you don't have to remove anything. You can just press enter right there. So now we wait again for it to load, and it should show the account that's associated that you've registered earlier. So right here, I have my name here. You can just put this here, and then we can just wait for a bit, and we should be inside the VM now. And then you can just click next here. You can skip for now for this one. Don't share, and then we should just finish up this. And here is the VM, and we're basically done with this. We can just full screen this if you guys want, and we can open the browser. For example, here we have the Firefox web browser. We can just click this. You can say, let's just test something with like YouTube or something. And we can search for like funny cat videos, for example. So yeah, yes, here we are watching YouTube through our VM. So just a short demonstration of what you can do with a VM. You can watch YouTube on it. You can do anything really on a VM. And check also this your files and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically it for the tutorial. Make use of the VMware and make use of the virtual machine to whatever you need. And that's basically it for this video. I hope this video is informative. If there's any questions, please comment down below. And yeah, I hope everyone enjoys this video, and I will see you in the next video.